right, 7th grade, apparently something happened, so we have to jump right in here again. We're going back. To problem, I want to start back at problem number 8. The camera quit working, something happened. I actually did this whole test. Now I have to redo all this part here. So back to number 8 again, ladies and gentlemen. I think we left off, we did most of this. Y equals mx plus b. We said right here that that crosses there at -1. So I now need the slope, and I think that's where the camera quit here. Slope is rise over run. Here's the triangle I can make. It is 1 high over 2 wide. So y equals that, and it's positive slope because it's going uphill. So your answer to this is y equals mx plus, y equals 1/2 x plus. Y equals 1/2 x minus 1 would be your whole equation for that. Problem number 9, a coin is tossed and a number cube is rolled. What's the probability of getting both a heads and an even number? Well, if you're looking for the probability of 2 events happening together, it's their probabilities individually multiplied together. So my probability of getting a head is 1/2. My probability of getting an even number, if you roll a dice, you can get a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. 2, 4, and 6 are even numbers. So 3 out of 6 times you get an even number, which is the same as 1/2. So you multiply those 2 together, you get 1/4. Uh-oh, sounds like we got trouble here on a Saturday morning. Problem number 10, area of a parallelogram. Parallelogram's area is base times height. Remember, those two have to form right angles, and you look for the angle that's right, and it's right there. So area equals this 10 times this 7, the two lines that form the right angle. So area equals 70 inches squared. For problem number 11, it asks you for the area of this triangle right here. And on your notes, I'm sure you have written down that the area of a triangle is 1/2 base height. Look at again, the B and the H is this right angle here. You could redraw that line right here. It would be the same line as that line, and it's still 7 high. So area equals 1/2 of 7 times 10. So area equals 1/2 of 70. So area equals 35 inches squared. And then problem number 12 asks you, it says angle B here is 61 degrees. It asks you for this angle right here, angle DAB. And what you need to write in your notes for this, I don't know if we talked about this or covered this with parallelograms, but it is this. In parallelograms, the angles that share a same side are supplementary, which means the angles that share a same side add up to 180 degrees. They form a straight line. If I were to take this angle and set it right next to this angle here, it would make a straight line. So all you need to do for that problem is take 180 and subtract your 61 degrees from it, and you get 119 degrees. That is your answer for problem number 12. 119 degrees. 13, we're going to change 5/12 to a decimal and a percent, which means it becomes a division problem. And here is going to be the deal. Let's do the percent first. Well, and it all works together as we do it together. 12 goes into 54 times. That's 48. Subtract, I bring down. I get 1. I know my whole percent now is 41%. And here's where you probably should just take a second and pause. If I'm doing a percent, I want to make a fraction out of what's left. Get my 2 decimal places, and then I make a fraction. So my percent is 41%, and I make a fraction out of what's left, which is 8/12. And 8/12 then can be reduced if you divide them both by 4. You get 41 2/3%. That's my percent. For my decimal, I have to keep going on my division. So 12 goes into 80 6 times, which is 72. And I'm going to keep getting 8s. So my decimal is going to be a repeater decimal with the 6. So there's both my percent and my decimal. Volume of rectangular prisms is very easy. You can just use length times width times height, and that's 8 times 4 times 3. 32 times 3 is 96 inches squared. Now back to the final page here. Problem 15, you're going with order of operations, ladies and gentlemen. That's parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. There are no parentheses, so I do my exponents next. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Anything to the 1 power is itself. 2 to the 2nd power is 2 times 2, which is 4. Here's where a lot of people make a mistake. 1 to the 3rd power is just not 3. It's 1 times 1 times 1, which is just 1. So there's my exponents. There is no multiplication division, so I add and subtract, but you need to add and subtract from left to right. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. 16, the thing that gives us the sad face is this negative exponent, so I want to move that whole thing to the bottom and make it a positive exponent, so it's gone. If I were you, I would just write down the letters. 6 times y. Then you have 5 x's and another y. That's what's on top. What's on bottom is 2. You have 2 x's there and 2 more x's there, so there's 4 x's and a y. And then crossing off what you can, 4 of these x's will cross off with 4 of those x's, leaving you with just an x on top. 1 y crosses off with another y, leaving you with just another y up there, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. Problem number 17, the only bad thing here is this negative 1 exponent. I need to make it a positive 1, and the rule is when you have fractions to negative exponents, you just flip them over and their exponents become positive. And anything to the first power is itself, so this just stays 2/3. So I have 3/2 minus 2/3. Common denominator of 6. This times 2, that times 2 is 4/6. This times 3, that times 3 is 9/6. 9/6 from 4/6 from 9/6 is 5/6. A couple more, ladies and gentlemen. Problem number 18, scientific notation. Just remember, when you do scientific notation multiplication, you multiply the left sides, which gives me 12. I write times 10 down. When you multiply exponents, you add, or multiply bases to exponents, you add the exponents together, so this becomes -7. But you can't leave it like this because it's no longer in scientific notation, because this number has to be between 1 and 10. So the fix is I just put my decimal where it belongs. I move it one place, making it one thing smaller. And I have to balance this out by making this one bigger. So it becomes 10 to the -6th. 1.2 times 10 to the -6th. Problem number 19, we got a couple equations to fix. They all both get done the same way. Remember, the last thing you do is deal with the x term. So you do the opposite here. You subtract 0.8. I subtract 0.8, and I get 0.4. So 0.2x equals 0.4. I divide by what's in front of the x because that's multiplication, and the opposite of that is division. So my answer is going to be what I get when I take 0.4 and divide it by 0.2. Move the decimal, bring it up. 2 goes into 4 twice, so x is just 2. And then finishing it up here, same thing with fractions. I worry about this last. I subtract 3/4. I subtract 3/4, which is 6/8. 9/8 minus 6/8 is 3/8. And if 7/8 x equals 3/8, I flip and multiply. Do the same thing to this side. This is times 8/7. The 8's cross cancel. And x equals 3/7. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how it is done. Hopefully that'll help. We're going to stop our recording. And good luck with your test.